The schema pattern search is used to find all instances of data that match a pattern. For instance, to comply with PCI security standards, an organization must know where all instances of a credit card are stored. While it is ideal that there is a specific column that stores this, it is possible that a customer service rep has added a card number to another column. This wizard will create 3 output files, and I'll show you the details at the end of the job. You can start by selecting your schema in the Data Source Explorer, and then IRI Schema Pattern Search. Here's where I enter the setup details for my job. The first option is to include matching on column names. If I have a pattern that is named column credit card, and I have a column that is named credit card, it will match on those names. I'm going to unselect this so that you can see the details of it matching on data itself. The second option is to skip sources listed in these previous scans. This is particularly helpful if you have done a scan previously, but you have new tables added to your schema. You can add what you've previously scanned here so that you can skip those previously scanned tables. The last item is depth of matching, to detail how you want to actually map. This first option is to scan 100% of the data. The second option is to scan the data but stop at the first match in each column in case you only need the column names where you can have this data. The third option is to not scan the data at all and only match on column names. I'm going to leave the full scan selected and click Next. Here's where I can add my schemas. While you can select multiple schemas in one database, please note that this might take a while to finish if you have a lot of data in that schema. I only have one schema here, so I clicked Next. This page I can specify the data type of the columns that I want to scan. This is helpful for me to skip some tables or columns and tables that don't have data types that I need. The text data types are pre-selected, and I'm going to add numeric and click Next. This page allows me to exclude items. For instance, if I have a schema that has tables that include metadata, I don't really want to scan those, so I can exclude those here. I know I don't have any, so I click Next. Here is where I actually add the patterns. The upper section is to match on column names. It is grayed out because I unselected that option on page 1. The lower section is where it actually matches against the data. And click Add. Here's where I can add my pattern. I happen to know that I want to use credit card, so it is contained in a preloaded pattern library that I can select here, Browse Common Patterns. Click Credit Card. This pattern also includes a validator script. This validator script will run after it matches on the pattern to validate any checksums and such on the data itself as well. I click OK. And that's all I want to enter, even though I can add multiple other patterns here as well. I click Finish. See in the bottom that it's running through those tables, and because I have a small schema, it's already returned the results. You can see here that it matched in my persons table, column credit card, a bunch of credit card numbers. This is one of the outputs. The others can be found in the Schema Pattern Search folder, one of which is Table Search Results Log. This records all of the tables that it scanned during the job. This is particularly helpful if you run the job overnight or unattended and you want to confirm that all the tables were scanned. You can look at the last table scan to make sure it is your last table in your schema. The other item is the column search results. This just lists the columns that it found data in. This is particularly helpful for a quick glance at where the data was located. Now, I happen to know that I had another table with a column called credit card, and I can show you the details here. Here, column credit card. But I happen to know that this is a test table, and these credit card numbers are actually invalid. So that's why they were not included in the scan. I can use different patterns to try and find invalid credit cards as well by adjusting my patterns and not using the validator. Now, suppose I want to do something with these results. This column search results, as I said, lists the columns that I found positive matches in. So I can use that to associate it with a data class. So I can do that by right-clicking this file, IRI associate schema pattern to data class. This will go through that file and look at the results. I have a selection here to add to an existing data class or create a new one. I don't have one, so I leave that new selection. Click Next. Here it lists all of the results out of that column search results page. I only had one column with data to match, so here I can select my data class by the drop-down, credit card, and finish. This creates a data class library, seen here. Here's my credit card data class, my data source of table persons, and my matcher between persons and credit card. You can see the results by clicking the data source, and you can see here that it has applied data class to the credit card column. This library allows the result set to be used in other wizards.